Good day everyone. Our topic for today is all about analyzing the internal environment, human resources context. Human resources. The importance of human resources in tourism, hospitality, and events. The sectors of the THE are labor-intensive service sectors in which the human factor is often the key differentiator between different competing organizations. Employees or group of employees are often critical to an organization's strategic success and thus represent what is often referred to in the literature as a critical success factor.
Ang kahalagahan ng human resource sa turismo, hospitality at sa event. Ang mga sektor ng mga serbisyo sa paggawa ng tao ay kung saan ang kadahilanan ng tao ay madalas na ang pangunahing pagkakaiba sa pagitan ng iba't ibang mga pakikipagkompetensya ng mga empleyado o mga grupo ng empleyado ay madalas na kritikal sa estratehikong tagumpay ng isang samahan at gayon ay kumakatawan sa kung ano ang madalas na tinutukoy sa literatura bilang isang kritikal na tagumpay.
Thus, the consideration of human resource issues is vital to the successful implementation of strategy in most organizations operating in the THE context. As with the other functional areas of organizations, we consider in subsequent chapters finance and marketing. We are most interested in the key areas of human resource management in that they have an impact on the successful formulation and implementation of strategy.
Kaya sa pagsasaalang-alang ng mga issue sa human resources ay mahalaga sa pagpapatupad ng diskarte sa isang organisasyon. Katulad ng ibang organisasyon na isinaalang-alang din natin ang pananalapi, marketing at dahilan ng matagumpay na pagpapatupad ng diskarte.
It is not only the size of the workforce that is distinctive but also its composition. The human resources which make up the workforce in THE sectors are often characterized by a large proportion of female employees, a large proportion of young employees, a large number of part-time and seasonal workers, high staff turnover rates, recruitment and difficulties, poor levels of training, relatively low pay, mobility of labor between different employees and geographically, working patterns involving work at nights and weekends, importance of volunteer workforce particularly for large events.
Hindi lamang ang size ng workforce ang katangi-tangi, ganun din ang composition nito. Ang mga human resource ay bumubuo ng sektor ay nailalarawan sa pamamagitan ng mga sumusunod. Proportion ng mga babaeng empleyado, proportion ng kabataang empleyado, bilang ng mga part-time at seasonal na empleyado, high staff turnover rates, problema sa pagre-recruit, kakulangan sa mga trainings, mabababang sahod, mobility of labor between different employers and geographically, working patterns katulad ng shift, night shift or day shift, at kahalagahan ng pagbo-volunteer lalo na sa mga malalaking events.
Human resources and service quality. Service quality in THE is to a large degree determined by the quality and attitude of owners, managers, and employees. The human resources as a service industry quality in the sectors depend on a range of human skills adapted during the service encounter. Critically though, employers need to pay attention to the designs of job and roles through measures such as job enlargement, by which employees' jobs are made more worthwhile and interesting in that they even given a wider variety of tasks to carry out. Ito yung kung saan ang mga trabahador ay nadadagdagan yung kanilang trabaho. Next is job rotation, by which employees rotate jobs between them so that teamwork is encouraged, knowledge and skills are gained, and everyone has to take a share of less popular tasks. Ito yung rotation daw ng kanilang job, kung saan yung mga employee ay na paikot-ikot baga yung kanilang trabaho. Ganon. Next one is job enrichment, by which employees are given a greater deal of discretion and empowerment to make decision. Yon, sabi nga, empowerment to make decision. Yung parang nabibigyan sila ng chance na magdesisyon. Next is job sharing, by which employees' jobs are shared between 2 or more employees, thereby sharing burdens and responsibilities and providing cover for staff leave and sickness absences. Yun nga, yung kung saan yung mga employee ay in-share nila sa isa't isa yung kanilang mga ginagawa, tulad ng yung kanilang trabaho na nahirapan sila o yung sa mga responsibilidad nila. For example, ay may nagkasakit ng parang yung isang employee gagawa niya ng sickness absence or yung isang staff ng leave, ganon.
Ang mga mapagkukunan ng kalidad at serbisyo ay isang malaking antas na tinutukoy ang kalidad ng saloobin ng mga may-ari, tagapamahala at empleyado, ang mga mapagkukunan ng tao. Bilang isang kalidad ng industriya ng serbisyo sa mga sektor ay nakasalalay sa isang hanay ng mga kasanayan ng tao na may patibay sa panahon ng nakatagpo ng serbisyo.
So the Virtus cycle is the linking human resources with business success, from high-quality human resources to service quality to customer satisfaction and loyalty to competitive advantage and to the business success. In Virtus cycle, people who are carefully selected, well-trained, and highly motivated are more likely to deliver services of high quality. Isa sa pinaka-importanting resources sa negosyo ay ang tinatawag nating human resource o mga taong magsisilbing asset ng negosyo mo. Ito yung mga taong dumaan sa tamang proseso bago ipasok sa negosyo upang malaman kung qualified ba sila para sa posisyon na kanilang pagsisilbihan. Sila ay pinili mula sa kanilang mga kakayahan at kapasidad para sa trabaho. Dito papasok yung mga pagpasa nila ng requirements, pre-interview hanggang sa final interview. Sabi nga, kapag tamang tao sa tamang posisyon ay magagawa ng maayos ang trabaho. Kasi kapag nasa tamang tao ang nasabing posisyon, nandun yung passion, love at dedication niya para magawa ng tama ang trabaho niya. Second, since the quality of services offered is high, they are likely to be valued by customers, leading to customer satisfaction and loyalty. Kapag nakahanap ng tamang tao para sa trabaho, magagawa nila ang the best nila para makapag-produce ng high-quality products. At kapag full of passion, love, at dedication ng tao sa kanyang trabaho, paniguradong hindi lamang good quality ang magagawa kundi best and high quality. At kapag makalidad, siguradong pagkakaguluhan at babalik-balikan ng mga customers ang ino-offer niyong products o services na siya namang magbibigay ng good feedbacks and loyal customers sa inyo. Above all, every business goal is to give the satisfaction to the customers. Kasi ito ang maglilid sa business mo sa maraming possibilities and opportunities through your customer satisfaction, smiles, feedbacks, and loyalty. Kasi dito na papasok ang recommendations to other possible customers nyo from your loyal customers. Kasi nyo lang bang ipagkalat at ikwento sa ibang tao ng mga customers nyo kung gaano sila natuwa sa products o services nyo at dito na mahihikayat ang mga ibang taong tumangkilik rin ito. This lead to the creation of a competitive advantage since the competence delivery of high-quality service has been successfully delivered to customers in a market. So after magkaroon ng mga solid o loyal customers, dito na papasok ang tinatawag na competitive advantage na kung saan kapag nasatisfy mo ang customers mo sa pagkakaroon ng high-quality products o services, ay nakuha mo na rin ang tiwala nila sa negosyo mo. Fourth, gaining advantage over competitors leads to a high level of organizational performance and business success. At syempre, ito na ang maglilid sa pag-usad mo sa mga competitors ng business mo. Mas mabilis mo sila mauungusan if you provide the best and high quality products and services at the same time ay ang satisfaction at saya ng mga customers mo. Dahil dito, di nila malilimutan ng business mo kahit na may mga business na nag-o-offer na katulad sa'yo. Dahil dito, mas malapit ka na sa success na hinahangad mo sa business mo. Fifth, the success of the business allows for additional resources to be deployed in rewarding existing people and recruiting additional people of a high caliber who are attracted by the success of the organization. At kapag nasa peak ka na ng success ng business mo, maraming opportunities na ang papasok sa'yo. Ang paglaki ng business sa pagdami ng resources na kakailanganin mo. Muli, maghahanap ka ng mga taong kailangan mo para mas lalong mapalago ang negosyo mo at makatulong sa mga taong nauna dito. Dahil sa pagiging success ng business mo, tao na mismo ang lalapit sa'yo na may mga paniguradong kakayahan na para sa mga posisyon na hinahanap mo at ang tanging gagawin mo lamang ay ang pumili muli ng tamang tao para sa mga posisyong makakatulong sa'yo at sa business mo. So there are 5 dimensions of service which can usefully be remembered through the acronym of RATER. Responsiveness, assurance, tangibles, empathy, and reliability. So responsiveness is the willingness to help customers and provide prompt service, example given, problem solving by hotel reception staff, and advice offered by call centers. So, napakahalaga sa isang business, especially kapag ang business nyo ay nag-o-offer ng services, ang pagiging one call away sa mga customers nyo. Napakahalaga ang pagiging responsive sa mga customers, mapasain, queries man o sa mga concern regarding sa business mo. Good communication with the customers is the key para madaling magkaunawaan sa mga concerns nila at mabigyan ng sagot o solusyon agad ito. Next is the assurance. Knowledge and courtesy of employees and their ability to convey trust and confidence. Example given, level of training for flight attendants, providing itemized bills for services delivered. Assuring the safeness of your customers is very important. Trust ang pinakamahirap i-build at ibigay ng isang tao. Kung kaya sa isang negosyo, yung ino-offer mismo ng business mo ay magbibigay ng assurance at hindi takot sa mga customers nyo. Bukod sa mga example given, another example is kapag nag-o-offer ka ng mga beauty products. Kailangan i-assure mo ang safeness ng mga mamimili nyo. Magpakita ng mga proof na siguradong nakakadagdaganda ito at hindi sisirain ang mukha mo. Proof is important to secure assurance. Next, tangibles. Appearance of physical facilities, equipment, personnel, and communication materials. Example given, comfort of the hotel room, facilities at the concert venue, and airplane passenger features. Eye-catching para sa mga customers ang mga nakikita at nahahawakan ng mga bagay-bagay sa business mo. The more na nasasatisfy sila sa mga nakikita at nahahawakan nila, the more na tumatatak ito sa isip nila. Tamang combination ng kulay, malinis na facilities at magandang ambience na nakakawala ng stress ang the best para sa mga customers. And for sure, it will lead to customer satisfaction. Next, empathy. Caring, individualized attention to the company provides its customers. Example given, treating each customers at a restaurant individually according to their needs. Bukod sa mga tangible na bagay na nakikita at nahawakan ng mga customers, isa sa pinaka-importanteng ino-offer ng isang business ay ang good treatment sa mga customers. It's the feelings from inside. Ito yung hindi mapapantayan ng ibang tao, kung paano kayo nagkikare sa mga customers nyo. Being hospitable and showing not only good, but the best treatment to the customers is always the best feeling. And lastly, reliability. Ability to perform the promised service dependably and accurately. Example given, trains arrival times, accuracy of bills, conference running according to schedule. Most of the time, people always believe that time is gold and what you expect is what you really get. Importanteng naibibigay mo ng tama sa mga customers mo. Kung ano ang pinag-usapan nyo ay dapat siguraduhin magagawa at maibibigay ito. Kasi doon masusukat ang efficiency at reliability ng business mo sa mga ino-offer nyo.
The gap between customer expectation and customer perception. Ano nga ba ang customer expectation and customer perception? Ang customer expectation is also defined as customer's assumption of his or her experience in fulfillment of a need with available resources at his or her disposal. In simple terms, ito ay ang customer expectation from a product or services, while the customer perception naman ay customer experience via consumption and interaction with the seller. Ang perception ng isang customer ay nagresulta base sa kanilang assessment sa product or service, quality at consumption and interaction with the seller. Gap 1. Management does not know what guests expect. The first gap ay dahil hindi alam or aware ang management or ang isang company sa expectation ng customers. That's why nagkakaroon ng gap sa kanilang expectation and their perception. Gap 2. Management is not willing or able to put a system in place to match or exceed customer expectations. Service, quality, standard are not developed. The second gap is when the management ay hindi sila willing or hindi nila nilalagay sa tamang place para mag-match o maabot ang expectation ng customer sa product or service, quality at standards nito. Gap 3. The service performance gap when employees are unable or unwilling to perform the service at the desired level. The third gap is kapag ang mga employees naman ang hindi willing para isagawa ang service para maabot din ang expectation at perception ng isang customer. Gap 4. When promises do not match delivery. The fourth gap is isa din sa pinakamahalaga because the customer know what product he or she expected na dadating, but if the product is not what he or she expected na dumating or hindi pala ganun ang gusto niya or mali ang dumating doon, papasok ang gap between their expectation and perception. A sequential 5-step approach should be adopted which address the 4 gaps. Number 1 is identify whether or not a problem exists. The first step is alamin mo if the problem is really existing o hindi. Number 2 is identify customer needs and expectations of quality service. The second is alamin mo kung ano-ano ang mga gustong makamit or expectation at pangangailangan ng isang customer of the quality service. Number 3, develop service quality standards based on customers' expectation. The third one is gumawa ka ng service quality standard based sa expectation ng customer para makamit mo rin ang expectation nila. Number 4 is re-evaluate the human resource system to hire, train, and motivate employees who are willing and able to deliver quality service. The fourth one is as the human resource system, it needs to re-evaluate, to hire, train, and motivate employees dahil isa ito sa nakakatulong upang makamit ang expectation at perception ng customers. Last is manage customer expectations so they are realistic with the service offering. Last is identify and manage their expectation upang ito ay maging makatotohanan sa service offering. Human resource audit. The human resource audit is an investigation into the size, skills, structure, and all other issues surrounding those currently employed by the organization. The audit review is the ability of the human resources to implement a chosen strategy or range of strategic options. Once the audit has been completed, management should be able to answer the key question. Are the human resources in the organization capable of implementing the proposed strategy? If any gaps are identified, then a human resource strategy may be put in place to close the gap. Human resource audit are used to assess the compliance of your HR policies and procedures. The HR audits ang gumagamot sa mga issues o problema bago pa man ito maging totoong problema at sila rin ang tumutulong para mabigyan o mahanap mo ang tamang solusyon sa iyong problema. Their goal is to look for trouble spots and or identify ways that you can improve.
The contents of a human resource audit. So here are the audit checklists as follows. Number 1, the number of employees by a number of counting methods. The total number by division, by location, by skill type, by grade or place in hierarchy, by age or length of service, by gender and by ethnic group. Number 2, employee cost, usually measured by salary costs and add-ons like benefits and taxes payable by the organizations. Number 3, the organizational structure and the position of employees within the structure. Number 4, recruitment and selection procedures and their effectiveness. Number 5, the quality and effectiveness of training and development program used. Number 6, the level of employee motivation and moral. Number 7, the quality of employee or industrial relations between management and employees. Number 8, the internal and external networks that employees in the organizations have developed and their effectiveness for various purposes. And number 9, the monitoring of the effectiveness of existing human resource policies and control procedures. The outcomes of a human resource audit, the problem of measurement. The various components of a human resource audit present differing problems of quantification. We can intuitively understand the entries that, like employee cost, numbers, skills, shortage, or surpluses, can be measured in numerical terms. Industrial relations measures can usually be measured by such things as days lost through strikes. Other parts of the audit present more difficulty in respect of measurement. So, kung in terms lang naman ng ng number of employees or yung mga employee cost ng ganun, so madali natin siyang ma-measure. Pero yung kapag sa na naman o yung sa industrial relations, mahirap na natin siyang ma-measure. So, ma-measure lang natin yung number niya is true kapag halimbawa is nawala yung days na nawala ka, halimbawa sumama ka sa nagwewelga ganun. So mabibilang yung days kung kailan ka nawala or nag-absent ganun. So dun lang natin ma-measure yun. So for example, how might we measure staff morale or motivations? We might be able to say that staff morale is high or low, but any in-betweens might be difficult to assign a value to in the same way as for, say, employee cost. The same problems arise with the level of staff motivation and job satisfaction. It is also probably true to say that in most organizations, large disparities exist between employees in respect of these intangibles. Some employees will be highly motivated and will enjoy good morale, while others will not. It is for these reasons that a checklist approach to a human resource audit is rarely possible. It usually contains some subjective assessments of some parts of the audit. So, katulad nga ng sinabi ko kanina. So, mahirap nga nating i-measure yung mga industrial relations nga. Kasi, paano nga natin naman, di ba, ma-measure yung motivation or yung moral ng isang employees naman nga, 'di ba? So ang hirap nga naman sabihin na mataas or mababa yung motivation ng isang employee. So yun, mahirap nga talaga namang i-measure yun.
Human resource benchmarking. The concept of benchmarking is one that we will encounter several times in this book. Essentially, benchmarking is a tool for comparing a feature of one organization with the same feature of another. It is particularly useful for comparison against the best in an industry for the feature in question. Followers of the best in the industry might then ask why the leader company has achieved the superior performance. Increasingly, however, companies in the service industries are also benchmarking themselves against companies in different sectors. So, ang benchmarking ay isang paraan para paghambingin ng isang feature na organization with the same feature of another. Sa pamamagitan nito, once na naka-encounter ka ng negative sa iyong company or product, pwede ka magtanong sa mahusay na industriya kung paano nila na-achieve ang mataas na performance. For example, if a company identifies a negative gap in a key skill area which it has found difficult to close, or say of good quality graduates, a benchmark study will enable the company to find out about its competitors. If company A is known to be able to attract the best graduates, then an examination of its human resource policies will enable other companies to benchmark their own practices against it. It may be that Company A is identified as offering the best career progression planning, the highest salaries, or the best development opportunities. If this is found to be the case, then competitors will want to examine their own provision in these areas to see where they can be improved. Halimbawa sa isang kumpanya, nagkaroon siya ng problema sa quality ng kaniyang produkto. So, si Company A ang magbibigay daan sa kaniyang problema dahil pwede niyang iambing ang kanyang kasanayan kay Company A. Kung paano niya na-achieve ang pinakamahusay na pagpaplano dahil si Company A ay kilala bilang isa sa mga pinakamahusay na industriya na nakapagtapos.
In some organizations, critical success human resource may be found on the board of directors, giving strategic direction to the company as a whole. In others, they may be found in research and development, developing the new products upon which the future success will be built. Certain marketing personnel or operations manager may also be critical in some business. For example, in some tour operators, the management of the operational aspect of stores may involve local knowledge and experience of destination area and individual suppliers. Similarly, the organization of events such as concerts or festivals may involve the use of highly specialized staff with a range of skills such as lighting and sound engineers, stage managers, etc. This knowledge and experience may be held by the key individuals whose sudden loss to the company could cause operational problems. Well-managed companies try to reduce these risks through measures such as documented procedures, routing staff to within the experience-based and training procedures.
Organizational culture. What is culture? Culture is the organizational equivalent of human's personality. As with human personality, organizational culture can be somewhat difficult to explain and define, and consequently, many different definitions exist. Ralph Stacey provides one definition. Ang ibig sabihin ng organizational culture ay ang kultura na katumbas ng isang organisasyon na pagkatuto ng isang tao. Tulad na ng personalidad ng tao, ang kultura ng organisasyon ay maaring medyo mahirap ipaliwanag at tukuyin, at dahil dito maraming iba't ibang mga kahulugan ang umiral. The culture of any group of people is the set of beliefs, customs, practices, and ways of thinking that they have come to share with each other through being and working together. It is a set of assumptions people simply accept without question as they interact with each other. As the visible level of the culture of a group of people takes the form of ritual, behavior, symbols, myth, stories, sounds, and artifacts. Ibig sabihin, ang isang organizational culture ay ang kultura ng alimang grupo ng mga tao ay hanay ng mga paniniwala, kaugalian, gawi at paraan ng pag-iisip na naibabahagi nila sa isa't isa sa pamamagitan ng pagiging pagkakaisa at pagtutulungan. Ito rin ay isang hanap ng mga nagpapalagay na tinatanggap lamang ng mga tao na walang tanong habang nakipag-ugnayan sila sa isa't isa. Sa nakikitang antas ng kultura ng isang grupo ng mga tao ay nasa anyo ito ng ritual na pag-uugali, mga simbolo, mito, kwento, tunog at artifact. So ibig sabihin, nakikita natin ng isang organizational culture kapag meron tayong mga personality, mga symbols na kung saan nagagamit natin ito upang makikipagtulungan at makikipag-isa sa isang organization.
From a strategic point of view, the important point is that all organizations have some sort of culture and that the culture can have a significant effect on an organization's performance. Consequently, the managers must attempt to understand the culture of the organization and the effect it is having, positive or negative, of an organizational performance. Managers may subsequently find it necessary to take steps to implement a program that attempts to change the prevailing culture in order to improve performance. Ibig sabihin nito, mula sa isang madiskarteng pananaw, ang pinakamahalagang elemento na dapat tandaan ay bawat organisasyon ay mayroong kultura, at ang kulturang iyon ay maaaring magkaroon ng malaking epekto sa pagganap sa isang organisasyon. Bilang resulta, dapat magsikap ang pamunuan na maunawaan ang kultura ng isang organisasyon at ang epekto nito, mabuti man daw o masama, sa pagganap ng organisasyon. Sang-ayon ang mga tagapamahala na maaaring mapalitan ang gumawa ng mga hakbang upang bumuo ng isang programa na naglalayong baguhin ang kasalukuyang kultura. Determinants of culture. First, the philosophy of the organization founders, especially if it is relative young. Ibig sabihin, ang filosofiya daw ng mga organizational culture ay nagpapatatag ng isang organisasyon lalo na daw kung ito ay mga medyo bata pa. Second, the nature of the activities in the business and the character of the industry it is competes in. Yun daw, yung mga likas daw na katangian ng mga aktibidad sa negosyo ay ang katangian ng isang industriyang kinakalaban nito. Third, the nature of the interpersonal relationships and the nature of industrial or employer relationship. Ibig sabihin, yung kalikasan daw ng isang interpersonal na relasyon ng employee dun sa kapwa niya employee ay likas daw na katangian ng pang-industriya sa mga relasyon ng mga empleyado. Fourth, the management style adopted in the types of control mechanism. For example, the extent to which management style is autocratic or democratic. Ang determinants culture daw ay factors na yung estilo daw ng isang pamamahala ay pinagtibay at ang mga uri daw ng mekanismo ng kontrol. Halimbawa na lamang ay ng autokratiko or demokratiko kung ano yung mga pamahala na ginagamit doon sa isang organisasyon. Then, the national or regional character of the areas in which the organization's activities are located. This in turn can affect the public. Dito, yung pambansa daw na regional na nakatangian ng mga lugar na kung saan matatagpuan yung mga aktibidad ng isang organisasyon, ito daw yung mga turn na maaari makakapaekto sa distansya na kapangyarihan na nakaka-impluwensyang kultura. And yung isa pa daw sa mga factor nito ay yung the structure of the organization, particularly its height and width. Then last ay the dependency the organization had on technology and the type of technology employed. The growth of the email, for example, is the influence the culture of some organizations. Ibig sabihin, yung undependency ng organization or teknolohiya, ang uri doon ng teknolohiya na ginagamit doon ay yung email na kung saan nagkakaroon doon ng influensya yung kultura doon sa isang organization.
Why culture is important? Culture can have influence on employee motivation, the attractiveness of the organization as an employer, and hence the rate of the staff turnover, employee morale and goodwill, productivity and efficiency, the quality of work, the nature of the employee and industrial relations, the attitude of employees in workplace, and innovation and creativity. The owners, managers, and employees working in smaller organizations may be able to differentiate themselves by exhibiting superior customers' knowledge, responsiveness to inquiries and compliance, development of long-lasting relationships, encouraging repeat business, attention to detail, consistent and reliable standards across the organization, and friendliness, leaving the customer feeling important and reassured. In addition, SMEs may be able to foster high standards of service delivery in the fostering of a service-oriented culture by the direct day-to-day involvement of owners and managers, rather than being remote as in some larger organizations. Managers and owners who are directly involved can seek to foster high standards, monitor and experience the standard. Owners and managers are on hand to make change quickly when required, impose a sense of urgency and importance when customer problems arise, make decisions directly and deploy necessary resources when required, and ensure that employees are appropriately rewarded and motivated. So why culture is important? Culture is a strong part of people's lives. It influences their views, their values, their humor, their hopes, their loyalties, and their worries and fear. So when you are working with people and building relationship with them, it helps to have some perspective and understanding of their cultures. But as we explore culture, it's also important to remember how much we have in common. People see the world very differently, but they know what it is like to wake up in the morning and look forward to the adventure that of the day. We are all human beings. We all love deeply, want to learn, have hopes and dreams, and have experience pain and fear. It is important to remember that everyone has an important viewpoint and role to play when it comes to culture. You don't have to be an expert to build relationship with people differently from yourself. You don't have to have a degree to learn to become sensitive to cultural issues. And you don't have to be a social worker to know how culture has affected your life. And that is why culture is important.